now that I'm a little bit more comfortable, Namor's pretty exciting for Shield. So Namor the Submariner, we've got 443 stat line, 7 health, 5 threat, size 2, moves long on a medium base, so safe grab available. He has a 6 dice range 2 builder that before damage is dealt, he gets to advance short, so has some movement shenanigans on the Trident. This is going to be good for like rotating. Like for example, on a D shape, a medium base long move can't quite walk D to D, but if he can hit somebody on the way, he can easily go from one point to the other. Imperious Rex. Imperious Rex is literally for Asgard. Action, do a charge with the builder. If you do 1 damage, they get stagger. Once per turn, cost 3. This is good. Stagger and shield. Well inside our color pie, a thing we love. You could play him and Widow and like really stunt on big boys by just staggering them and running around. Atlantean Might is extra power in the power phase, so Asgardian. And then damage caused by characters' attacks cannot be reduced or prevented by superpowers or team tactics cards. This is really exciting for a couple reasons. Big one is that this gives us a lot of play into some of the really obnoxious stuff that X-Men's doing. So no Xavier's Dream, no exceptional healing. That stuff doesn't work. Also, Bill and Thanos are all over the meta right now. These are both really good into them. While Namor will not kill Thanos consistently, if Namor gets to hit Thanos first, the stagger means that Thanos probably doesn't kill Namor. He's Flight, and he is a gem bearer of Time. Time is probably the worst gem in the game. It's 2 power, reroll all attack dice. It's pretty trash. Or is it reroll all attack dice? It's during attack, reroll both players' dice, including skulls. So it's a recal only while attacking. It's pretty bad. The real reason to take it is extra power. So you have charge online turn 1. I don't really think that's worth it. It doesn't seem to be worth an entire threat. On the other hand, Namor doesn't have a ton to do with his power. If he has 6, his whole kit is unlocked. You kind of, no matter what you want to do, 6 power is your magic number. That's either 2 Armies of the Deep or 2 Imperious Rexes. He has Charismatic Leader, which is Strategic Genius by a different name, so it stacks with Strategic Genius. I don't think it's going to be super relevant. I don't think him and Zemo are going to be holding hands and best friends and running around the table together, although they can keep up with each other, so maybe. So attack and defensive reroll and an aura that gives it. Lastly, let's talk about Armies of the Deep. This is his spender. It's pretty interesting in that it's only 1 more dice than his builder, so you don't gain a lot of damage here. In fact, he has really nothing on his card that increases damage with power. But what is cool about Armies of the Deep is it's a huge toolbox. He has this. You just pick one of the 3 triggers. Swarm of Crabs is drop assets. Keeping this theme of S.H.I.E.L.D. really can't drop civilians. Spider-Woman can, but their other ones can't. Like Human Torch doesn't drop assets, or only drops assets, doesn't drop civilians. Same thing here. Octopus's Grasp, which is essentially explosive force. Before damage, enemy characters within 2 of the target suffer a damage and are pushed away short. It's sizeless. And then Wave of Turtles I actually think is pretty interesting because so the cool new part of it is that after the attack is resolved, this character can immediately interact with any number of objective tokens without spending power. So if you use this to kill someone and you go down to 0 for it, you can pick up the extract that they drop. That's cool. If he does, after all effects are resolved, he can move short. It kind of sucks that he has to pick something up to get the short move, that this doesn't always have a short move. But still, I think it's cool and relevant, and like whenever a spender can like pseudo refund a power, that always feels really good. And then he also came with a tactics card called the Prince's Protection. This is a Comrade's Keeper type effect. Enemy character when an enemy character within 3 of Namor targets an allied character with an attack. So it measures to the enemy character unlike all the other effects like this that measure to the character being attacked. So it's like a taunt instead of a bodyguard. Namor can spend 2 to play this card. Place him within one of the attacking character, not within one of the attacked character. Namor becomes the target of the attack, regardless of the range and line of sight. After the attack is resolved, Namor, if he's not dazed or KO'd, he pushes all enemies within 2 away short, and it's sizeless push. So Princess Protection is really interesting because Namor is going to be an up in-your-face character, so it having taunt instead of protection, I think works really well with how you're going to be naturally playing him. He just kind of protects you from everything near him. These cards are traditionally very, very strong and very good, but they are also traditionally on cheaper characters. In fact, only the cheap character ones really see play, like Lethal Protector not seeing play. It's largely because Venom doesn't see a ton of play. That card's still good. So interesting to see how it'll work on a 5 threat, but I suspect that this card's good and will see play. And it's unaffiliated, so it can go anywhere you want Namor to go. So, first things first. This character's very, very fast. Can do the safe grab. I really like that he can do the safe grab and then have charge online next turn. So walks up, picks up the thing, backs up, next power phase, gets 2 power, has Imperious Rex online so he can charge. That's really good because a lot of these characters that can walk up, grab a safe objective, and back up have the problem of their next turn kind of sucks, and a lot of them cost 5 power. Like Amazing walks up, grabs an objective, backs up, doesn't have web swing, almost certainly has to walk attack someone. Not so with Namor. Namor can charge and double tap. Seems great. And even if his charge puts him short of getting on the point, he gets that advance afterwards. So he can like really get around the table. So that puts a safe factions he might be in. Let's talk about factions he might be in. He's definitely in Shield because we've seen the Shield leadership card. He's probably in Defenders. And then from there, according to Wikipedia, he's associated with Avengers, Cabal, and X-Men. Now, what Wikipedia would consider Cabal is not really what MCP Cabal is. MCP Cabal is more like Masters of Evil. So I wouldn't be surprised for him not to exist there, but Namor's been a bad guy in the past. He could be there. I think he's pretty interesting in Steve Avengers because of charge online turn 1. So if you aren't doing the safe grab, he can kind of he can like threaten the midline on turn 1 with a double tap. And that's pretty good. Like 2 6-dice reroll 1s with no damage prevention is scary for almost anything you'd float onto the midline. In Defenders, it's pretty interesting, especially if you're playing the Portals thing, because he can have charge online. He can do your safe grab, and Defenders doesn't really have a safe grab right now. They play Bill for it. You can just get Bill out of there, play Namor instead. And Namor also can kind of do Ghost Rider's job. So I think that's a nice double dip there. Now, I think his damage output's a little bit lighter than Ghost Rider's. Actually, fairly significantly lighter than Ghost Rider's. But that's good. Likes the leadership out of Daredevil. So a lot of people are going bananas about this character because he's just very fast and he seems like he can put his damage anywhere, and it seems like his attack is very good. And all those things are true, and like it is hard to like measure how much damage increase no damage reduction is, or ignoring damage reduction is. But here's the thing. The character does not scale damage-wise with power, right? Like he is maybe the lowest damage output 5 threat in the game. Hard to measure against some characters, but you compare him to like Thor. He has a reroll on his attacks and ignores damage reduction, but doesn't have a viable throw, doesn't have the wild throws. So he does not do as much damage as Thor. His dice are more consistent than Thor's, but he doesn't do as much damage as that character. And he's way faster. You're paying for speed. So I think the people that are like, oh, this guy's like the new nasty beater of the game. No, like this guy is nowhere near the damage of King T'Challa. Like not even close. And giving him more power doesn't really make him do more damage. He's kind of like this weird Miles Spider Woman ish, like chase and retrieve extracts piece. But yeah, essentially the lowest damage 5 threat, like Black Bolt does more damage, MODOK does more damage, Ultron does more damage, and a lot of them do more damage than him in non-ideal circumstances. And the nice thing about Namor is that you're kind of always existing in his ideal circumstance, because as long as he's not like covered in some kind of conditions, if he has 3 threat, he can go charge and start kicking off what's going on, or start kicking off what he wants to do. No damage reduction is fairly interesting. Like, this model is maybe the best at killing Logan the Wolverine ever. Like, I mean, charge him if you spike the dice, Logan will just die. They can play the damage reduction cards, but they don't do anything. So, like, no dream, no exceptional healing. There's a cute interaction with Heave Ho and Pim Particles, the character throw cards. We don't have confirmation on this, obviously, because the rules forum doesn't talk about stuff that's not out. But the way I read Pim Particles is he's the one doing the throw, even though Ant-Man or Wasp are paying the power. He's the one doing the throw, so you can't play Brace because Brace prevents the damage from collisions. Also, fun fact I just realized while researching this with Brace, you still technically roll the dice for Brace. Brace prevents the damage. You can still technically roll the dice, so if you're playing a character like Doc Ock or Mysterio or something, you can fish for your power back. So that's kind of cute. So let's talk about, I know I've kind of just covered the character broadly, but people are interested in what I'm doing with him in S.H.I.E.L.D. is probably why you're here. So the big question I think on everybody's mind is there a like Webs style extract version of S.H.I.E.L.D. now? Because Miles' leadership is essentially a card that you can attach to Namor. And I think we're still a little bit short here. Like, so you could play something like, so there's 3 in-faction steals, and you could splash more steals. And so if you end up on like an asset, you could play Namor, Spider-Woman, and Human Torch, and you have 3 extract steals. Now, the problem is you don't have a lot of what makes S.H.I.E.L.D. strong there, which is, namely, like, Eye in the Sky and the defensive mechanics and the grunts. But, okay, splash Fury in there, and you kind of have this, like, mid-rangey, weird S.H.I.E.L.D. team. I just don't think it quite gets there. And if you're doing this, like, why not just play Webs? Webs are, like, the best thing in the game right now. You just do the same thing with Webs, not need it to be an asset for it to be strong. Also, the characters you're going to bring in and splash are almost certainly Webs characters. Like, you're going to bring in Black Cat or Rhino, or it's like stuff that's like very Webs-esque. So I don't think it quite exists, but it's probably like a B- list you can put together, and it's cool, I guess. How I intend to use him is I'm planning on playing him when I lose priority into the matchups that I don't like, or if I get a really bad crisis draw. So I'm playing my normal shield plan. I'm preserving 8 of the 10 slots of my current list. And I'm planning on that if I win priority, we're probably on Gamma or Demons, and then I can just like shoot Webs off the board. Like, that's the plan. If we end up on Infinity into like Webs or Hellfire or somebody, then we can take a look at playing this guy. Or if we end up on my extracts that are not Researcher, which are both 18s, I can play him. And he gives S.H.I.E.L.D. a tremendous amount of chase. And I've talked a bunch about S.H.I.E.L.D.'s weakness being bad at chasing. Now, whether you want to do that chasing with Agent Venom or Hawkeye and do it like kind of a damage focus thing, or you want to play like Spider-Woman and I don't know, like a Splash Rhino or something, and try to fight the extracts game. I think both of those are fine. I think if you lose priority, you're probably not playing his extracts, or you're not. Sorry. I think if you lose priority, you're probably not playing his leadership. I think playing Nick Fury's leadership is probably still where you are, because if you're down on points, having the extra victory point catch up is very, very strong. Like 2 free victory points in a game that's going to be a victory point race is going to be incredibly helpful. And then if you're managing to tie or winning, the aggressive leadership will help keep all your models on the points from like impact webbings or lizard pushes or whatever the case may be. Right now on my list, I am looking at playing him and the 2 Furies as kind of the core set of playing against webs, because the grunts are just really good at, once we retrieve an extract, kind of hanging on to it. And Nick Fury, I think, is just very good at dealing with webs in general. Like a lot of their some of their drops are attack based, so I can mess with that. I also just think he's like one of the best models in our faction, and the grunts are extract based, so that helps. And then in order to play like on a wide secure, you really need the commandos to help Nick get around. Plus I think they're just a really good value piece. So kind of starting there, that puts us at what, 9-12 points. So if we've lost priority, we're playing at 18, because the 2 secures are 18. Like maybe we can look at a specific thing, but let's have an 18 plan, since we know we're going to have access to 18 when we're playing this plan. So from there, I am currently looking at playing Amazing Spider-Man, or it's not amazing, Spectacular Spider-Man and Sam Wilson. Just really fast, really good scenario pieces to make this happen. So we have to cut 2 slots here. We're cutting Hawkeye and we're cutting Hela. Makes me sad, but to see Hawkeye go, and Hawkeye was part of the webs plan and like occasionally came in and other stuff, like at high points against attrition things on centers. But I think Spectacular does like a close enough representation of him, but also has good dumps for his power. Like Namor will make up enough of a difference on something like Scoundrels, where you wanted Hawkeye constantly ignoring cover. Namor can just go over there and fight them, because I believe Namor's charge reaches like it goes from any scoundrel to any scoundrel point. And then Hela is also for the webs matchup. She's let me down a couple times lately. She's just like a very dicey character, and the issue isn't so much that she's not good in the matchup. She is. It's that her like worst case scenario is like game losingly bad. And that's what I had happen in the finals of Squad Goals, where she just like whiffs her first 2 soul attempts and then gets dazed for a bunch of the other souls that are flying around. And then she wakes up and is only a 4 health model. So cutting her and Hawkeye for a very similar to Hawkeye model in Spectacular Spider-Man and Namor, I think will help me kind of play this exact same plan. The other reason I think you don't play his leadership is that his leadership is a tactics card. And S.H.I.E.L.D. has some insane tactics cards, and I think Namor likes them a lot. So lately I've been playing less and less of Battlefield Medicine, despite it being an incredible card. Tons of factions would kill to have, because the characters usually just die. And usually healing them is not that relevant. Usually the condition removal is the important part of that card. And let me tell you that Namor hates having conditions put on him. Stun and shock and slow ruin this guy's day. And being able to pay 2 power to clear one of those conditions and heal 3 is going to be a big deal on affecting his survivability. The guy also doesn't particularly like being incinerated, but I mean, who does? So I think Battlefield Medicine is going to be really good. Shield Mobile's also really interesting in a chase situation, as I suspect he will get flooded on power in that he probably makes 2 6-die builders every turn and only pays 3 power until he like needs an extract, and then once he has an extract, goes back to not spending power on anything other than his charge. So I don't think him starting a turn on 6 power is insane, and having him shield mobile and charge means that he can go effing anywhere. He can go essentially in charge essentially anyone on the table and make a second follow-up attack. There's some cute stuff you can do with sit rep that I don't think is that good. Like technically sit rep and on a medium base, like so like you deploy him across from like your opponent's spider infected. Nick Fury sit reps him and has the grunts grab the middle one. Technically, he threatens to go grab their spider infected and back up, but they can just pick it up. And then, like, you're not really in a great spot to do anything other than walk attack the midline, which you already could do anyway. Maybe it's interesting on Skrulls where, you know, you don't want to telegraph where you are so much, and you want to threaten, like, their Skrull, like, grunts go pick up your Skrull, back up, sit rep him up, but you can do that with any long mover. So, I don't know. Okay, so that's kind of where I am on him in Shield. I think he's going to be a good specific matchup player. I think he's really cute into all the damage reduction stuff. I would love to see him prey on Bill. I think that's really funny because Bill's everywhere right now, as is Thanos. And while I don't think the guy preys on Thanos, Thanos is not particularly happy to get staggered. And ignoring his damage reduction is pretty good, but you know, like if he's got reality, it's still like he's still not super likely to just win that straight up fight unless he staggers him every time. And you, for some reason, are playing into a Thanos, but you're taller or something like that. It doesn't seem very likely. In Defenders, he has some interesting implications with Cover Me, the new Defenders card that we've seen, where like you pay 4 power. I suspect this guy's going to have an excess of power, and it's like if you shoot this guy, one of my guys gets to shoot you, and then he has Prince's Protection, so he can like Heroes for Hire. Like, you know, like a lot of people have said that Cover Me is not good because you just don't shoot the character and then the card doesn't do anything. But he has a bodyguard card that can let him step in the way and get shots and push that guy away. You can also like resolve it in either order. You can either they shoot one of your characters, you Prince's Protection, you place, you get shot, you live. You can either have a person who's just barely in range shoot them and then push them well out of range of whatever they were threatening, or you can have them push him into range of a gun and then have the gun shoot it. So I think those are like interesting. Also, Defenders now having Heroes for Hire and Prince's Protection, both in faction, and then you could like splash for another one. Like if you wanted to splash for Comrade's Keeper, like all of a sudden like this, you have like the makings of a very denial-y Defender scenario team. Street Smarts also can combine with that, where you can be like, I can't be pushed or thrown. I talked about him being good in the portals list because you can charge in, deal your damage, hop through the portal back to safety. But yeah, I think he's good. I don't think he's insane like some people are saying, but I think he's solid. I think he's rock solid. I'm excited to play him. But what do you guys think? Where are you guys going to play him? Do you think Extract Shield's a real thing? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget that fun is a finite resource.